Hello, hello everyone, my name is Tojo and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Age Origins. You might notice we are in a unfamiliar location. We are in the Frostback Mountain Pass, which is the path to Orlais, I believe. We had some technical difficulties at the start of trying to record this episode, but luckily we didn't miss much. We just got attacked by some bounty hunters, which included a blood mage or two, interestingly enough. But yeah, we're here now.
Most traders aren't allowed into Orzammar, so they just sort of gather near the doors. There's no laws up here at all, I'm told.
Lovely.
How are we supposed to live like this? I have buyers waiting.
If there's civil war, what will happen to us?
I don't know, friend.
Perhaps there'll be better trading in Redcliffe.
If they wait too long, trade won't come back. That's the way this works.
Can I interest you in something? I've got the finest selection of previously owned armor and weaponry this side of Val Royeaux.
Previously owned.
Why pay through the nose for new equipment when you can buy it like new for much, much less? Oh, here and there. Look, that's really not important. The important thing is, it's cheap. And just as good as what you'd find at a smithy. Oh, of course. And remember, everything's covered by Farron's 24-hour lifetime guarantee.
Great Illyrian potion recipe. Well, that's why I'm not unlocking new things. I have to get the recipes for them. Because they get like 3 or 4 points into herbalism. Portrait of a goose girl. Just didn't like portraits. And nothing other than that is too interesting. Okay. Okay.
You heard about the revolt in Oswin?
Got put down by the Regent, I heard.
That's what he'd like you to think, I bet.
Well, I wouldn't talk about it too loudly. Look, someone's listening.
Oh, don't mind us. Just talk, that's all.
Uh-huh.
What can I do for you? This ought to be interesting. Such diction. This man is a true scholar and rhetorician. I am honored to be fired by one such as he. Good day.
Your mother is supposedly the one called Flemeth, the very witch from legend. Is that not true?
There is nothing supposed about it. Flemeth is my mother.
I was more doubtful of the legend rather than your relationship to this woman. Anyone can claim a name after all.
You're welcome to ask her if you ever meet her. You're just her type.
Oh, elven and handsome?
The sort that will never be missed.
Sounds intriguing if you ask me.
You assassin types have a death wish, I see.
Only the really good ones.
Lovely.
They have to open the gate. My suppliers will think I cheated them.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzammar's lifeline. Even if we're denied a caste, the Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone. But they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites. Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
Okay, so is Orzammar a city of, or a nation of dwarves then?
You're wasting your time. Only dwarves are allowed into Orzammar.
There are other places to sell. I don't have to come back here.
Okay.
I demand an audience with you and All of Ferelden. King Loghain will not suffer the delay of his appointed method.
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Logain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
None more important than mine.
Your business will wait. Orzammar must limit outside influence until the throne is settled. No one gets in.
They hide because they are dwarves.
I would challenge any race to fare as well. Our king is dead. Endrunaidukan returned to the Stone Knot 3 weeks ago. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
So is this still part of Ferelden then?
Wait, who are you to speak for Ferelden? You're no messenger to Logain, that's for certain.
Thank the ancestors.
Didn't Logain make like a big deal about dealing with people from Orzammar also? Didn't they like have like a big war? And he was like, over my dead body, are we going to ask them for help? Or is this not where we are?
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Logain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Logain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. You'll hear of this. King Logain will see you quartered.
You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
This is Orzammar, not Orlais. Okay.
Atrost Vala, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that
If
outsiders
there
not
is
witness our
anything
infighting,
complimentary
but
to be
your
said about these
presence will be
people,
tolerated.
it is that they possess a remarkable facility for carving stone.
I haven't eaten in days. If only you had come at a less troubled time.
Okay. So I guess just go straight through.
So, if the legend of your mother is true, Morrigan, does that mean that the legends of her many daughters are as well?
To be honest, I have no idea. I've never met any sister of mine, nor has my mother spoken of any.
But it could be true, yes? If you exist, there could have been others like you.
Long ago, perhaps. Why?
We have legends of witches in Antiva. One that tells of a witch of the wild, traveled far from her home to settle in the Tellery swamps.
And? You thought I might know this woman?
If one legend can be true, why not another? Who knows how many Morrigans are scattered about Thedas, hmm?
It's not something I'd like to contemplate.
Oh? You do not appreciate a little competition from a half-sister or two?
Silence, elf. It is none of your concern.
Our concerns have merit. The Assembly has made itself clear. Space within Thag is at a premium, but the intent and function of the Hall merits the additional resources committed. The statues of the Paragons must be the core of the Hall of Heroes. There is no other placement so that benefits Dwarves' interests. It was the first glimpse that the surface ambassadors have of Orzammar and an introduction of not just to our living ancestors, but also to the stone from which we are born. They must see its shape before they can understand the complexity of its raw form. The Hall must also serve a second purpose. As a last sight for departing brethren, those who chose to leave must do so with the heavy gaze of their ancestors at their backs. It is a reminder of duty and consequence. We will promote all manner of trade, but also reinforce those who leave for too long will return as strangers to the stone. So there's definitely some kind of caste system involved here, and apparently anyone leaving the mountain is essentially branded in exile.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king!
Okay. No one is more righteous to the throne. The sitting king may recommend a successor, but the assembly ultimately decides who will rule. House Harrowmont is one of the oldest noble houses, as old as the Orzammar itself. Endrin's most trusted advisor, Harrowmont is well known for being able to administrator and the author of many compromises in the ever-warring assembly.
Vieta, surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. Yes, you should.
Okay, I don't like anyone here so far. What we got going on here? General Goods, Tipster's Tavern. Filda has a quest for us.
Ancestors guard my son, for he is lost in dark. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Filda, widow of Turok of the Smith Caste. I pray here every day for my son, Rak. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. The Deep Roads are where Darkspawn come from. They descend for miles into the earth, and we must patrol them constantly or be overrun. I lost my husband to them. If I lost my son the same way... The captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by Darkspawn that way. The Deep Roads are where Darkspawn come from. I lost my husband to them. If I lost my son the same way... How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden? So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Don't get your hopes up. We could search the Deep Roads for decades with no sight of the boy.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Okay. So didn't they also meet
What
the...
is that spell? Dwarven vomit. Charming.
Okay. Didn't one of the documents we found at Soldier's Peak mention the deep roads?
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
The mortal vessel. An attribute point, nice. Definitely keep that in mind. You have a backpack for me? No. You do have a couple gifts that I might want to pick up later, but I'll come back to those. Okay, we have another quest over here.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. The Shaper controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. The Shaper of Memories controls the Shaperate, Orzammar's record system. Like the Chantry's historians, but more thorough. They track the births and lineage of every dwarf born in the city, every property sale, death in battle, marriage, or divorce. The Shaperette is in the prime tier of the city, near the royal estate. Does this mean you will help me then? Never mind. The Shaper of Memories has refused me so far. I thought perhaps with another advocate. Well, if you have a change of heart, let me know.
I don't really trust the Chantry, but
Maker's
it's a
blessing,
quest.
brother. I never expected to see you back. Is there something you seek? Not yet, but I have an audience with the Shaper this afternoon. Of course, the Shaper has heard my plea before. I doubt he'll change his mind now. Would you? I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Okay. I don't trust the Chantry as an institution. They're up to some shady stuff. Something else over on the other end, I guess. But I'll at least see how the quest plays out. Dwarves are lauded for their craftsmanship, and the city of Orzammar is one of their finest works. Orzammar lies at the heart of Frostback Mountains, deep underground. The city arcs outward from the royal palace, which is built around natural lava vents, continually fountaining liquid rock, which both lights and heats the entire cavern. The topmost tier of Orzammar is home to the noble caste, with their other palaces fanning out in both directions from the court of the kings, as well as the Shaperate, which serves as a repository for all dwarven knowledge. The lower tiers in the commons, where the merchant caste holds sway, where the finest works of Orzammar's craftsmen are for sale. In the center of the river of lava, connected to the commons by a causeway, are the proving grounds, a sacred arena where dwarves by ancient tradition settle their disputes. One side of the fiery rivers are the ruins of old dwarven palaces fallen into despair, which the locals call Dust Town, now home to the city's castles. On the other side of the river are the deep roads, which once joined the sprawling dwarven empire together, but now After centuries of darkspawn's incursions largely sealed off, nearly all knowledge of the network of underground passages has been lost even to its builders. Wonder why that is.
Did you see that? I cannot believe what this city has come to. This would never have happened when Endrin was alive. The city is torn apart. King Endrin is dead, and the Assembly can't decide who takes the throne, Lord Harrowmont or that monster Balin. Lord Harrowmont should be our king. He was King Endrin's closest advisor, the only one he could trust. Endrin himself, ancestors welcome him, asked the Assembly to endorse Harrowmont. Aye. What a terrible burden for a father to have only Balin left of 3 fine sons. In the end, Endrin himself recognized that Balin cared for nothing but power. It was Endrin who ordered his son away from his deathbed and embraced Lord Harrowmont as his heir. Everybody knows he killed his brother Trian and let his father's favorite son take the blame. And many question whether Endrin died abed, as we were told, or whether Balin helped him along. He died in bed after his eldest son was murdered, and the Assembly condemned his second son for it. I cannot blame him for preferring to join the ancestors in eternal peace, if Balin didn't murder him himself. He is a good man and a skilled general. King Endrin trusted him with his life, and I will do no less. I am Narav Helmi, 3rd daughter of the 2nd matron of House Helmi. And you, stranger? What brings you to Orzammar at such a time? A Grey Warden? That explains why they allowed you past the gates. What kind of aid do you mean? A blight? Now? But our warriors are killing each other in the streets. I'm sorry, stranger. I fear there will be no aid for you in Orzammar. If you seek Lord Harrowmont's support, I suggest you talk with his trusted advisor, Dulin Ferrender. He might be able to get you an audience.
Okay, so... on the one side we have a trusted advisor who's apparently preferential over the King's son, but the King's son wants change?
Being in Orzammar is a privilege.
Whether or not he killed his brothers is still up for debate at the moment, apparently.
Me, do you have a moment?
Do I?
You look like you're not from around here.
Really?
Oh, wonderful. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Then I'm truly honored. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins? I can't even imagine. I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. No dwarf has ever studied at the Circle of Magi. I guess you never read First Enchanter Caitlin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic. He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them. I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Okay. Just very enthusiastic. There's a shop here.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying?
Nothing coherent.
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Oh, maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad thing. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging. Then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Aye, of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Right. Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
Okay. Diamond quarters that way. It's down over here. Nothing really. Okay.
So the closer you live to the surface, the higher class you are. Unless you're actually on the surface.
Yeah, right?
News of the hour. Questions remain as to Lord Balin's involvement in King Endrin's death. Possibility of patricide scandals shocking.
Oh, look, town criers. Harrowmont was the advisor guy. Just keep having a look around real quick.
Lord Harrowmont, said to have kicked Castless in the street. Does he respect none beneath his station?
Okay.
For such a short people, they do rather like their buildings tall.
Why does that do that? Throne room? Okay. Is that supposed to be lyrium? As a fireplace or something? Okay. Severin doesn't have lock picking up. Let's see. Nope. Hello?
Enemies approaching!
Next time!
Okay.
Best be wary!
Very well.
be done.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Okay, at least someone else was here to see that. Bath. And we're back out this end. So I guess that's the royal estate. Is that where the sun is? Or I don't know why you're doing that, but it makes me uneasy.
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
The prince values your support, Warden.
Okay, so the prince isn't there. We have to go talk to whoever his speaker is. My worry is that we're going to go talk to one of them, and then that's going to lock us in immediately, instead of getting a chance to talk to both of them. What's this? Assembly chamber?
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harrowmont for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Balin, he might be able to assist with your requests. That hurts worst of all. That Harrowmont would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Balin cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty. Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harrowmont's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion. I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar. The Shaper is biased, and if you want Prince Balin's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it? Don't expect this offer to last. If my prince hears you swore allegiance to his enemy, he won't be so friendly next time. I will be here if you change your mind.
Okay, now let's go talk to other guy then. Because that was some shady stuff.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. That would be enlightening. Though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm.
And this is to be your king. One who cannot keep his own men from running like frightened children.
Lord Harrowmont does not use threats or intimidation to motivate his men. He leads by example.
Ah, I see. So it's his example they follow as they cower from this Prince Balin.
How dare you slander Lord Harrowmont?
Why should we ally ourselves with someone too scared even to grant us an audience? I suppose not everyone can face death as undaunted as an Antivan, it's true.
Then you agree to fight in Harrowmont's name. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
Okay, so took a moment to think on it. Balin obviously is into some shady governing practices. It seems like he might be using forged documents. He doesn't seem to be above, blackmail and slander. Maybe he actually did kill his brother. Versus Harrowmont, who seems to be much more up to traditional sakes. Like, Balin wants change, and Harrowmont is more keep things the way they are, but also everyone seems to be kind of suffering because of the way that things were. And being Grey Warden, I really don't feel like I should be placing someone on a throne, especially because I don't understand dwarf culture. We also need to look at which one's going to help us out more in the end. Which maybe they'll both, maybe they'll get like the same kind of support towards the end, but I don't know.
Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
Okay, so I'm going to side with the guy who's going to make changes, and only hope that the changes he makes are positive in the end.
I hope you're not wasting my time with more dithering. The choice I gave you was clear. If you want Balin to support you in your surface war, you'll have to help him take the throne. If you do, there can be no further business between us. Now, do you wish my prince's support, or will you risk everything to aid the usurper? I have the promissory notes right here. Just take them to Lady Dace and Lord Helmy, and show them Harrowmont is not as honest as he claims. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at tapsters in the Commons. And just to be clear, all deals are off if you fight that proving for Harrowmont.
I honestly don't know which decision's better here. Screw it, let's just go with what we have. Where are we going? Lady Dace is over here. It was nice of the game to send the other NPC I was looking for straight to me.
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about. I am. And what business would you have with me? An interesting accusation. But to cheat me, wouldn't Harrowmont and I need to be in business? That's ridiculous. Harrowmont would never make so obvious a mistake. What evidence do you have? Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it. I cannot. Not for weeks. He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient thaig.
It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt. He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go? So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to think this through anymore. I am not a politics person. Any choice I make here is probably going to end up biting me in the butt anyways. Especially because I didn't start out as a dwarf. And I haven't played a dwarf in this game before. I did a very basic playthrough, like just through...
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
Jesus, okay, what's happening now?
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Okay. Anyways, I did like the basic introductory questline before, like years ago.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly, or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Okay.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. Ask, and I shall do my best to answer. We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with Darkspawn. At the other side of the old Empire, during the last Blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. The Paragon Caradon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caradon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
I wonder if I should bring Shale here.
They are to us what a colony is to surfacers. Please, speak your mind. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these? Had he scripted these counterfeits? This is a serious crime. I will have the Ministry of Lands begin an investigation into the Gavorns immediately. Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical. The prince consulted me before his father died. He wanted to know about King Bimo, the last king to rule during a blight. I told him Bimo made many changes during his rule. The assembly was even disbanded for a 2-year period. Bimo declared that, in times of war, the warrior caste answered directly to the king, and all voting was suspended. Balin seemed quite interested. The Gavorn family is a minor one, founded when a daughter of the Ferender house married down to a warrior caste man. Her brother died, leaving her family heirless. So the assembly granted him a new family name and allowed him to adopt his daughter's children as heirs. Vartag Gavorn is on record asking the assembly to bar Harrowmont from King Endrin's sick room. He's a vocal supporter of Prince Balin. You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
Well, I guess that confirms that then.
Very well.
So I guess we're off to fight in the Proving? Or how does this play out?
Well, have you found Lady Dace and Lord Helmy? Forged? Well, naturally they're forged. There is no legal way for Harrowmont to sell the same land twice over, is there? You want to know how the game is played? I wrote the papers and left a sizable fee with the registry office to back them. But if you think figuring it out gets you off the line, you don't understand how this works. I'm asking for a show of loyalty, so exactly how much truth is involved shouldn't matter in the slightest. Now, where does your allegiance lie, Warden? If you cannot support my prince, do not expect him to serve you. If you change your mind, you know what you must do to earn his indulgence.
Lovely. Well, I guess that settles that. My concern now is that if, while Belmont wants things to change, especially considering he was,
News of the hour! Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Balin reveal the truth. Could Harrowmont be the true cause of King Endrin's death? Shocking allegation.
Anyways, on top of the shady...
News of the
barely...
hour.
Okay, guys, stop.
3 more clans endorsed Lord Harrowmont.
2 years tomorrow.
Okay, let's get away from people talking for a second. Well, hello. So aside from him using some less than legal methods of, you know, obviously blackmail and forgery and whatever, he also took the, seemed, according to the Shaper guy, was very interested in disassembling the assembly during times of war, which...
This no doubt leads out to the deep roads, the ancient passages that once led to the other dwarven kingdoms.
Anyways, the Shaper told him about how in times of war, some of the kings, or one of the previous kings, would dissolve the assembly and everyone would report straight to him. Which, given that the assembly is at each other's throats right now, and isn't making much progress, it's still, in my opinion, would be better than not having that kind of a council to make decisions. You.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper. Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
Okay. Where is it going? Dust Town. Who was this other person we need to talk to? Okay, I'm not looking to travel. I'm looking to find out where this person is. Oh, Jesus, hello.
We'll get plenty for their king. Cut them out.
What are you doing in my safety zone? Rude.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform. Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity. Especially for someone with a few connections above ground. Human kings, you know, they make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee. More so for someone like you, I guess. Most dwarves born down here have a natural immunity. Other races, there are problems if they spend too long with the ore. The real issue is that lyrium's valuable. It's only found down here, and human mages can't work without it. Long as you keep your eyes down and your mouth shut, we've got no further business.
Okay. I don't have 50 gold on me, so...
Have you a coin to spare, my lord? It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I. Thank you. That a stranger would care so much when my own family barred me from their halls unless I'm willing to. But no! I can't bear to even think of it! My son's father is casteless, as is he. I used to be a minor, but my parents stripped my caste and refused to accept me back. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him. Yes, I can become casteless with him, which is what I've done. Others have raised children like this, right? Begging for change, sleeping in doorways? I heard as much. There was a man speaking on the street, talking about the human religion. He called himself a cleric. Said he could help me. You would do that? But why? Then I cannot offer enough gratitude. But I warn you, my father is a stiff-necked man. His name is Ordell, and he's usually at Tapster's in the evening. I do not think he will listen to you. But I will wait anxiously to see if you can do what you promise.
Okay. And seeing all this makes me rethink maybe I should... Okay. If Harrowmare, whatever the hell that guy's name is, becomes king, this all stays the same. Maybe the other guy will help these people out, but I'm also worried that he's going to turn into a dictator.
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough. The assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the assembly of the clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Oh, Stone. You must be the Grey Warden. I completely forgot about the Gate Guard's message. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Okay, well, I guess let's go figure out what other steps I need to take. Give me a second, guys, I'll figure this out.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. The provings are how our ancestors show their judgment, pitting body against body in a ring of scared stone. Everyone in Orzammar accepts that judgment. The usual. A couple of Idukans, some Gavorns. He has many men lined up, but not all of them are top-ranking. Bjotn Idukan and Wojciech Ivo are his best. They're both unpredictable, and some of the best fighters Orzammar has seen. Have you decided, then? Will you enter the provings in Harrowmont's name? Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Beisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Okay, we're off to go fight some people. Lovely. Is magic allowed in these things? I probably should have thought about that earlier.
Of the dead sighted battling Darkspawn near Orzammar. They have no orders.
So tell me, was the Tower of Magi everything you thought it would be?
Abominations running rampant? Templars ready to slaughter every mage in sight? Yes, it rather met all my expectations.
You don't think you might have been better off getting your training there, instead of whatever your mother taught you?
You're right. My mother didn't nearly have as many abominations running about. That certainly would have improved my education.
I'll give you that one.
I'm so relieved.
Okay, I got some people to talk to.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Well, that sounded genuine. If you weren't looking for me, do me a favor and pretend I never said anything. I left the Proving on my own business, and I have no intention of discussing it. Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other. She's married to a prominent Desher's heir. We should have stopped a long time ago, but I love her. Do you know what that's like? Now Balin found out, and I can't even help my cousin for fear he'll tell her husband. There's no way to guarantee that. I appreciate the thought, but they really have me over a shaft here. They have letters. Love letters Revelka wrote me. If they were made public, she'd be disgraced. Her husband would cast her aside, and I would be lucky to be allowed to die in a duel. No. One of his fighters, a woman named Miyaja, she's the one who threatened to expose me. You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. If you can make sure that evidence doesn't get out, I'd be happy to fight in the Proving. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first bout starts.
What if I just fight?
The Proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight? Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? I'll just call you Grey Warden, since those elven names are such a mouthful. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? That's what I like to hear. I will warn you, though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start, or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring. Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there.
Get the feeling I'm skipping ahead of
This
something
is a
important.
glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paradons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Suwern of the warrior caste. Many of you remember when Suwern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Haramont's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Should be easy enough.
The winner is the Grey Warden!
Is that dude dead?
That was an exciting start, Warden. Suwern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent?
I'll tear out his spine.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paradons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Haramont's champion takes on the notorious duo, the warrior caste's twin terrors, now fighting for Prince Balin, Miyaja and Lukjan.
May the stone honor you.
When you
fall.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Very well.
I love the thought that he just gets more feral as the as the fights go. I didn't choose the rip out his spine part, but
Now we do. Come, let us end this.
rude. Triple knockout, come on!
Very well. No quarter shall be given. Very well. It shall be done.
The winner is the Grey Warden!
Woo.
Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Paramount's champion has held the field so far, but how will he do against one of the legendary Silent Sisters? We'll find out as the Warden faces Lady Hanashan, who proved her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Best be wary. No quarter shall be given.
Double paralyzed.
Our skill has won the day.
The winner is the Grey Warden!
Woo.
Paramount will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent?
There's more?
Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory. This round is paired combat. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none. Wojciech Ivo has never won the same way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Wojciech Ivo and Valans. Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
I got you now. Ahead.
I mean, part of me really wants to just take them on my own. Which I probably could have if they're gonna get repulsed like that.
Let's have at it.
Oh, shit.
At your order.
I won!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Wojciech Ivo is one of the best this arena has seen, Warden. Paramount picked wisely. Are you ready for your next opponent?
How many rounds are there?
Excellent! Let us go. This is only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal cousin Balin, Jotun Iduken has led his team to triumph over every unit so far. challenging him on behalf of Lord Harrowmont. The Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all whom the ancestors favor.
You fight well, but your judgment is questionable. The throne will never leave House Iduken.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
Already down.
Let us do it quickly!
Ow? Ow?
As you wish.
I'll get you!
Drink all the potions, Alistair.
Fight. Ankle.
Do I have enough potions to just outlast this? I don't know what I'm doing. But I can click health potions. Take him out! Yeah!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Harrowmont.
We're done here then, God, just needs a drink.
Spoken like a true warrior!
Okay. So with that done, I guess let's go talk to whoever we need to talk to again.
Has anyone told you what marvelous eyes you possess, my dear?
Again with the flattery. Do you not tire from the endless exercise?
In Antiva, women are accustomed to being showered with the praise they deserve. Men should worship you at your feet as you pass.
They don't find that incredibly annoying?
They are goddesses receiving their subjects, just as you should be. Whatever would be annoying about that?
I have no wish to be placed upon a pedestal.
But you deserve no less. You should be admired by painters, copied by sculptors, exalted by poets. Surely, you know that yours is a beauty so exotic, it would turn the eye of the maker himself.
Well, I suppose I...
Maker's breath. You were right. You win, I guess.
Thank you, sir. I expect payment forthwith.
I hate you all.
Show their favor. Do they really need our
What are you looking at, stranger? I could be. What business is it of yours? What? You think she'd die just to keep that thing? She knows what she has to do to come home. I never wanted her gone. Just the little cur. Can't she see she'd have a better life if she got rid of it? I've been trying. It's not as easy as I thought.
Look, just tell her... We never meant to hurt her. It just seemed best that...
Oh, just tell her to come home.
Her mother and I are waiting for her.
Okay, well, that was still easier than I thought it would be.
They're everywhere! I can't take it!
Okay.
Atrosvala, champion. I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now. His lordship is looking forward to meeting you.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyral Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Endrin's throne. You may not know the story, but Balin is actually the youngest of three. Endrin's eldest, Trian, was murdered in the Deep Roads not a year ago. His middle son was found standing over the body and was exiled. But I've always found it suspicious that Balin knew just where to look. Endrin loved his sons too much to voice such suspicions. But he knew Balin's only interest in ruling was to further his own power. Balin resents me because I did not believe his setup. I wanted a full investigation, a trial, not this knee-jerk reaction. It speaks poorly of Balin that Endrin himself was the first to think that he should not be trusted. I have never sought the throne. My role was to serve Endrin, first as his advisor, then as an elected Desher in the Assembly. Harrowmont has never been king, and I always assumed Trian would rule after his father. But both Endrin and my colleagues have asked me to step up, and I will not back down when Orzammar needs me. The Assembly represents the voices of the wisest, most noble families. While we need a single king to preside over important functions and lead us in battle, the Assembly better represents all in Orzammar. For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs? The Assembly receives pleas every day from the common folk, begging that something be done about her. So far, no one has managed. Jarvia hides her base in Dust Town, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but casteless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dust Town. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served.
Alright, I think that's where we're going to call it today. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. Okay, so I'm not sure this guy's going to make any changes, although speaking from an RP's perspective in this world, it's not really my place to demand something like that. Even if the slums are a horrible place to be in, they're just kind of like turning their back on him. But at least the other guy is probably going to turn to a dictator, so I guess this is the right choice. Although the other guy might send more help, just to solidify his position. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to leave it here, and we're going to continue off with the... whatever the Rat Queen is going on down here. I forget what her name was already. The leader of the Beggars Rebellion, I guess would be the best way to put it. But anyways, my name has been Tocho. Remember to leave a like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!